Hi everybody, my name is Gabe Cook. I'm the ciderologist. You might not know that because you haven't heard from me in quite a while. And apparently I run a Substack page to which some people kindly even pay for. And it has not gone unnoticed by you, or indeed me, that I've not been particularly productive on here. For that, I can only give my heartfelt apologies, twizzle my moustache a little bit, do some jazz hands and say, it's been busy. Life is busy. Isn't life busy for everybody? It's not really a very good excuse. I just haven't focused enough on you, my dear watchers, is that the right word? Listeners and readers, and I'm sorry for that. And I'm going to make considerably more effort to give you more great cider content, because as always, there is a load of great cider content out there. So the last time I spoke to you, I think, was in the summertime, although it was springtime, at least Southern Hemisphere spring. Oh, excuse me, I've got to stretch my legs. When I was in Australia, and I'm now in summer once again. I'm like, what was that great surfing movie, The Endless Summer, following those surfers who just go around northern and southern hemisphere just surfing all summer long. What a lifestyle, huh? And it's hot. I'm in the woods behind my house because it's the coolest place to be right now, and we're experiencing plus 30 Celsius plus. We've had twice already. We've had the hottest temperatures ever for May and for June. We've just entered July. Let's see what July holds. It's going to get above 30 again this weekend, I believe. So we're entering a new climatic phase, it certainly feels like, and there's lots of stories and articles to be written and to be talked about the impact upon apple varietal selection and growing, and even cider flavor profile. It's been observed this year that the apples, the ciders, have got lots of pectin in them, and also that for those who have done spontaneous fermentations, that they're being really slow with their fermentation, which is quite interesting. So once again, cider needs a bit more money and research invested into it to try and understand what these things are all about. I'm going to shift again. Excuse me. You get to be really close up to the moustache. I might go on one knee. I'm proposing to you, my dear listeners, readers, watchers. So what have I been doing? 6 months in 6 minutes. Should we do it? Beginning of the year started off with the world's biggest cider event, CiderCon. It took place in Providence, Rhode Island. This year, another great gathering of people, although the numbers were down on previous years. And the American Cider Association is undergoing some changes. And big announcement just recently that next year's CiderCon is going to be buddying up with the Craft Brewers Convention run by the Brewers Association in the first week of April in San Antonio, Texas. Not necessarily a hotbed of cider, but there are some cider makers in Texas, of course. So this marks, well, a very sensible move from a financial perspective to share space and a trade show and hotel rooms with a pre-existing event. Just makes sense, especially cider being the considerably smaller partner in that. There are some fears that it pushes cider too much towards beer and less away from the orchard, harvest-driven cider makers. I'm not necessarily sure that those fears will come to be held true, but we shall see. But I'm not sure there was much option for the ACA, so they've taken a stance. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens next year. There were some great themes at CiderCon this year around talking about terroir and regional identity and lots of single varietals. There were some exceptional ciders from across the USA and Canada. So let's see what happens next. The UK had its own version, CraftCon, that took place in mid-March. It was the biggest and best yet at Taunton Cricket Ground in Somerset. A great lineup of speakers and presenters. We were blessed to have a contingent from North America, Cider Institute, Bridget O'Keefe, and Steve Trussler from Brock University in Canada were there as well as Christine Walter from Bauman Cider, and a headline speech presentation given by Eleanor Leger of Eden. So for those people who've not had the opportunity to go to the USA to hear and see these people in action, it was a real treat, and the quality of and the breadth of knowledge and technical expertise of these people is quite astounding, and quite an insight for many smaller cider makers, I suspect, in the UK. So it was an amazing event, and next year's CraftCon's already been announced for April. April's going to be the busy month next year at Cheltenham Town Hall bigger and better than ever. Sorry, I keep on looking around just because this is a public footpath and people are going to be wondering what the bloody hell am I doing, but there we go. Stranger things have happened in the woods, I'm sure, in the Shire. And then we had Cider World, of course, at Frankfurt. It's a great event. If you've never been to Cider World and you're a real cider head, go to it. There's a great seminar series and tasting sessions, and then there's the public fair in the beautiful Palmgarten as part of the Botanical Gardens. It's amazing. And some great technical speeches. The region, the guest of honor was the Basque Country this year, and Harich Rodriguez Sadezali, he got the Cider Star of the Year, very well deserved for all of his efforts to champion and advocate cider, especially Basque cider, all around the world. And there was quite a salient presentation given by Daniel Emerson and Judith Hausner as well, from the German Fruit, Wine and Cider Association, ostensibly talking about the proposed changes to the marketing standards within the European Union for cider. So this is given particular terms associated with juice content, or rather the percentage of fermentable sugars that are natural, which is different to a juice content, I would say. Traditional terms such as cidre natural, cidre, apple these are all protected, but we've now got terms like premium cider and classic cider and cider beverage, and they all have particular designations of juice content. But none of them, even like the top tier classic cider, which is 100% natural sugars for the fermentation, that doesn't necessarily mean 100% juice, because you could still dilute back from 8% to 4%, that's 50% juice. And it can be made from concentrate as well. So there's no fresh juice, 100% juice designation, and that's causing some alarm for many producers. It's not been ratified, we don't know if it's gone through yet at the time of doing this video. It remains to be seen, but there are changes afoot. Aren't there always? What else can I tell you? Here in the Shire, it's ups and downs in the UK in terms of, last year was the hottest summer on record, driest summer. You couldn't ask for better cider drinking weather, and total volume of cider decreased from the year before, which was really, really wet. So, cider used to rely so heavily in the UK on, hey, it's something you have when it's really hot and sunny. Well, it was really hot and sunny last year. Fewer people drank cider. For me, that's a big shift. And I wrote about this for the Western Cider Report and a couple of other places, and I was told I was being a bit of a Debbie Downer because there were some other positive stories. But as an overarching narrative, that's big news for me, I think. Hearteningly, the smaller end of cider is, I'm not booming, growing in volume and value. There's a definite shift towards premiumization. I'm not a big fan of that term, but it is a recognized term. People are willing to spend a bit more for their cider, maybe drink a bit less, and that's contributing. And that's seen across all drinks categories. That's nothing particularly new. So, in terms of how the small end of the spectrum is doing, yeah, there are definite opportunities to be had. So, there we go. Very quick update from the woods, live and direct. I'm going to go and see if there's any squirrels who are watching me. If you've got any questions at all, please do shout out. I will be writing some articles on here pretty soon. I've got some ideas of some fun stuff to write, and I'd love to have your thoughts and ideas and contribution on. So yeah, let me know what you think. As ever, your support is massively appreciated. Sorry for being so absent. I will do better. So for now, from Cherry Hill Woods, take it easy. What's up?